shining, shining, nice and bright, bright. The birds are chirping, chirping,
and I'm ready to fly.
time to get ready, ready
for another day.
Hey, no one can stop us, so we gon' learn to play. Oh, every day we learn and play.
We do our best, so we'll be great.
You do your best, best,
and I'll do mine.
mine. So let's get ready, ready, ready. 'Cause it's about that time. Good morning, morning, you. Good morning, how do you do? Good morning, time to be great. Good morning, time to wake. Good morning,
Your dance and play.
good morning,
So start the day.
good morning. Open your eyes. Good morning,
Reach for the sky.
good morning, 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 morning to you. Good morning, 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 how do you do? Good morning, 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 morning to you. Good morning, 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 how do you do?
Good morning.
You see me on my grind,
Woo. Stars got to shine.
I'm a supernova.
Yeah, you see me taking over. Yeah.
I'm on the move, I got a way to stride to it. So let me hear you say, every day we gon' learn and play.
Learning and playing today.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning.
Good morning, everyone. Today is Thursday, March 18th. Officially 10 days from my baby's birthday. His birthday is March 28th, so we got to look out for him. That's when they're allowed to come home. They're quarantining over dad's.
Okay, well, first of all, we should welcome everyone to the Rolling Out AM Wake Up Call Thursday
That's what I
edition.
did. I
Thank you very
said
much for
welcome.
joining us.
I said good
No,
morning. That's why we got to
yeah,
start with
you,
that. I don't understand why we got to lead with that. How come we just can't say
no,
good morning, everyone? That's all
well,
I'm saying.
you say good morning, and then you identify your brand. But good morning, Portia. You look nice this
I
morning.
did. I said my baby is turning 15 on March 28th. That's what I said. That's my brand.
Okay,
Hey y'all.
well, okay. Good morning. How you doing?
Good morning, everyone. It's March 18th, 2021, and we are on Thoughtful Thursdays today. Hey, everybody out there. Do you have to sip your tea like that? Hey, everybody
It's
out
it's
there in Facebook
it's hot.
world. How y'all feeling today? Y'all let us
Yeah,
know.
welcome to the show. Welcome for joining us. I'm just sorry for my loud sipping. It's just very, very hot. My tea, you know what I'm saying? My tea with filled with vinegar and cayenne pepper and a dash of a lot of stuff onions, garlic. Uh, let's see what else I got in it. Yeah, I got a lot of
I see
stuff in
you
it.
trying
So,
to identify your brand today.
no, I
Y'all.
identified the brand that we're working for, rolling out AM Wake Up Call. So I identified
You
the
did
brand.
not say
So
that not one time. We are on the
And see,
rolling out 8 wake up
you didn't
call.
even acknowledge that I gave you a compliment. I said you look nice today. You just completely skipped right over it and went right into your insults.
I don't have insults. Today is a lovely day. And let me tell y'all who we got coming on today.
Okay, you're
Thank you.
welcome. First of
Thank
all,
you. I
okay,
said
thank you.
thank you
All
before
right.
you even said you're welcome. So thank
No,
you. Thank you very much. Um, Let me tell y'all who we got coming on today. So y'all remember Monday we were talking to Carlos about the Grammys, and then we were talking about Aretha Franklin and how her estate has still not been settled 3 years after her death. Well, 2.5 and some change years after her death, and they were boycotting the film for Aretha, National Geographic Genius Aretha, because they didn't include the family, et cetera, et cetera. Nonetheless, we have Kentaya Beeler, PhD, coming on. She's actually going to be giving us some insight on how Aretha Franklin passed away without having a living will and or a proper estate planning in place. There were some issues about that because they came back and said they found a will. It was a whole bunch of stuff. So nonetheless, she's an accountant. She is the let me tell y'all who she is. She's the owner of the Balanced Accounting Group, PhD. So she's going to be coming on telling us about that. She's also going to be telling us about millions of Americans are preparing to receive stimulus. So she's going to be telling us what to do about our stimulus. And then she's going to be telling us about financial literacy. And then I want to get into it with her in terms of her being a brain tumor survivor, guys. So we're going to talk to her about quite a bit. And then after her, we got Marcia Womack. She is she works for Citizen Bank. She's the vice president of the Alabama division of the commercial banking team. So we can also talk to her about financial planning, the importance of banking with Black-owned institutions. How do you develop relational banking with your bank? What does it mean to be financially empowered, etc., etc.
Yeah. Have you gotten your STEMI yet?
I don't get one. I
Oh,
don't get
okay.
one.
Okay. Well, yeah, you're right. You're right. President Biden said he wasn't giving out STEMIs to aristocrats. So I apologize for that oversight. You'll just
It's
have to do
okay.
without. And also, I think that a lot of people are angry at Wells Fargo and J.P. Morgan Chase over their STEMIs because it
Wow, what
hasn't
happened?
arrived yet. They haven't. They're still processing they STEMIs, and so
I
it
saw.
has.
Mhm.
Oh, go ahead.
No. It has what? Because I saw something that said, and I got excited because it came across my feed, but it said that the IRS was delaying the tax deadline. I'm like, that don't necessarily benefit me. It doesn't, but damn. But what were you gonna
Oh,
say?
okay. No, I'm just saying that the STEMI situation has launched just a plethora, a potpourri of hilarious memes going across Facebook and Twitter. A matter of fact, I'm gonna share some with. I'm gonna email some to Tigner, so our producer TJ can go ahead and flash some of those because those are some of them are just hilarious. So, have you seen any of the memes on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram,
I
or
seen them, but they
LinkedIn?
just not funny to me. They're not funny. They're not. I don't get
Okay,
a
what
check.
what
It's not funny. I'm good.
Okay,
I'll get
well,
a check, so
this
it's not funny to me.
okay. Well, there's no reason to be a hater just because you're not getting it. Think about America is benefiting. Okay, not just you. America is not just comprised of you. It is comprised of a composite of people who are doing well. Some of them not doing as well as you are. So you should be
Exactly.
happy and thankful and grateful that you are doing well enough that you don't get a check.
I am happy, thankful, and grateful, but they're still not funny. But this is not funny to me. But anyway, we're
Okay.
gonna take a look at them when we get back from the break, y'all. We will be back in a second. Hey, Shirley Carter. Hey,
Hey,
JT
Shirley.
Chapman.
What up? What
And
up, Shirley?
Joshua to Root. Good morning. We'll be back after the break, y'all.
America, land of the free. It's at the core of who we are. Freedom. The freedom to live without fear, to drive through all 50 states, to sleep safely in our own beds, the freedom to jog where we please, to watch birds in the park, to wear a hoodie, the freedom to breathe. Before we celebrate the freedom most Americans have, we must fight for the freedom all Americans deserve. Because no matter your religion, gender, disability, age, race, all lives can't matter until Black Lives Matter.
Oh, it's on. Release the meteor! Whoa!
He's looking at you, kid.
I dig it. That felt pretty great.
My Shiro doesn't always wear a cape, but she always has time for a hug, a smile, for going the extra mile. My Shiro stretches every dollar, puts in long hours, puts others first. But now it's your time, Mom. When you're ready to retire, we want you to be able to enjoy it. It's time to start saving now. A free 3-minute online chat can give you the personalized tips you need to start boosting your retirement savings today. Visit aceyourretirement.org.
Today I'm going to talk to you about physics. Come on in, girls. Let's go. This is the first rocket to get humans to Mars. Really tall. I'm a rocket structural engineer, designing and building parts of the rocket. You are the generation that will be stepping foot on Mars. Do I have a group of astronauts on my hands? Yes. You can become a rocket scientist or whatever else you want to be.
All right. Good morning. Well, good morning. Welcome back from the commercial break. We are thankful to be here this morning and that we cannot hear Portia spew any invectives or shade this morning at anyone. Hopefully she can get it together. Portia, we're back on air. We're back on.
I know. I had a little piece of hair.
Okay.
And it was...
Well, you could turn off your camera and work your situation out.
It's me. I got it.
Yeah, we don't need to witness that. So we're back and it's a lot going on in the news. We continue to offer our condolences for the people in Atlanta, Metro Atlanta, who lost their lives. There were 8 people who were murdered by the spa, quote unquote, spa shooter, who then was arrested and he was on his way to Florida. So we were able to, the law enforcement did an incredible job of averting further disasters and murders. At first, the officers described the situation as him being a sex addict and suffering from severe mental depression. But now it has been revealed. And it was funny how the police officers were quick to, proffer that theory that he's suffering from, sex addiction because that's what the guy said. The 21-year-old guy said. But now it's been revealed that he posted. Oh, I'll talk about that more in my my report.
Well, let's talk about it because I don't know. I wanted to know more about the victims. I was looking at it last night and looked like 6 of them were Asian. And I'm not quite sure what the nationality of the other 2 were.
They were Caucasian. They just happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. It just happened to be, people who were in proximity to what he was doing, and he needed to, or felt that he needed to take them out in order to ensure his escape to be able to go to the next one and the next one. So, so unfortunately, 8 lives were lost, 6 of them were Asian, and it's just been revealed on that he posted some racist, anti-Asian paraphernalia on his Facebook page. So that kind of wrecks that theory that this was not a hate crime. We can't say that definitively that he responded that he shot these or murdered these people because they were Asian, but you can't take that out of the equation either now because of the fact that he posted something that was against Chinese people and blaming them for the flu. I mean, for the blaming them for the coronavirus. So this is the gentleman.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
His name is Mr. Hold on. Let me go back. Let's see. Yeah. No, I'm sorry. I had it written down, and now that's when. Of course, when you need to see it, that's when that's when the thing goes wrong. But his name is Robert Aaron. His name is Robert Aaron Long. Okay, Robert Aaron Long, and he was So anyway, he posted some anti-Asian paraphernalia on his Facebook page that officers were able to procure, and now that kind of changes the narrative or the equation in terms of whether or not this is a hate crime because the officers were very anxious on that first day with the press conferences to basically rule out that theory that this might have been a hate crime, as many people suspected. And the people who were quickest to jump out to denounce that theory was of course Fox News, who I watched during the press conference, while most African Americans or urbanites watch CNN. I did that deliberately because I wanted to know how they were going to portray it, and so I was flipping back and forth. Sometimes looking at them at the same time on my iPad and the television, and the coverage of it was just radically different. You couldn't be more diametrically opposed in terms of the coverage. So they were quick to say and lambast the quote unquote left wing media for basically saying that it might have been a hate crime. But now that Fox News is so quick, knee jerk reactionism quick, to denounce that it might have been a hate crime, now it turns out it might be, because he blamed, he's part of he's part of the throng that are blaming the Asians for the novel coronavirus. So just wanted to give you an update on that. You'll probably see more about that in the news throughout the day. And like I said, I'll touch upon that in my report. Did you have something you wanted to contribute?
I'm just, it's just sad. You have to wonder what people are thinking. Like, did you want to be this martyr? Like, did you want to be this, did you set out to do that so you can be another famous person or infamous person that we remember this particular crime for? Because you would have to think, like, how come he didn't go a different route after he shot him? You know what I'm saying? Like, did you want to be another Kyle Rittenhouse? Did you want to be another mass shooter that shot up the church? What was it, in one of the Carolinas? Is that what you were going for?
No, he was going to Florida. He was going south to Florida because the Carolinas are.
Was he going?
Well,
No, I'm
they're
talking
kind of
about
north.
the
They're kind of
young
north
guy.
of Georgia.
I'm talking about the young guy that shot up the church of Black people in.
Oh yeah, in Carolina, yes.
Thank you. Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
So, but nonetheless, I just think he did it for clout. Like, I think he definitely probably did not like them, right? So it was probably a hate crime, but I also think he did it for the clout so that he could be remembered, and that's sad.
Well, yeah, Rittenhouse definitely did it for clout. You can see that the way he was taking pictures up there in Kenosha, Wisconsin. This gentleman here, it's too early for me to say whether or not he was doing it for clout, but all I know is that mentally unstable people who are teetering on the edge of sanity are particularly susceptible to manipulation by demagogues, such as the previous administration, who spewed anti-Asian rhetoric throughout his presidency, calling the coronavirus and COVID-19 such things as China flu, Asian virus, and other types of inflammatory, incendiary phrases. And that only whips up. And so that only whips up the animus or exacerbates the animus. And so basically what the previous administration was doing was appealing to the lowest common denominator, and the lowest in the deep in the human spirit in America, basically just inflaming racial animus, and it worked. I mean, it definitely worked. It worked to his favor, because look at the country now. Look at his following now. 71 million people. That's a lot of people. That's a lot of people to vote for one person. So his tactics worked, and he has a bunch of sycophants, servile congressmen and senators who are just basically doing his bidding. I mean, look how quickly after Trump's followers smacked around Lindsey Graham of I believe North Carolina, and as well as the gentleman from Kentucky whose name escapes me. Look how quickly they did the about face when they tried to oppose Trump at the end of his administration, and then once Lindsey Graham was harassed in the airport, he quickly changed his tune. He got back in line. You know what I'm saying? Once he got gathered by Trump's followers, he got back in line, and the same thing happened to the gentleman in Kentucky. Wow, that's funny. But anyway, we both offer our condolences to them, and it's just a sad situation. And I bless the families with love who have to bury their loved ones um, in the near future.
Senseless. Yeah, I saw one of the ladies was just trying to relax after work, and her and her husband went to the spa together, and she ended up not coming home. Like, can you imagine going to the spa for some relaxation because you're tense, you're this, and we're in a global pandemic. Like, we finally get the courage to go outside of the house and get a massage and do something that could just relax us, and you end up not come home. So definitely prayers out to their family. One of the gentlemen
Yes.
had a 9-year-old daughter. He was shot in the head. The bullet traveled down to his lungs, and he's in ICU right now. He he didn't pass away, but we just gotta pray for him. The little girl was like, "I'm trying to calm myself down." Can you imagine being a 9-year-old talking about, "I'm trying to calm myself down" at 9? She's like, I'm trying not to, overreact. And but my dad is in the hospital. He's in ICU with a bullet in his body. So he got shot in the head, and the bullet traveled to his lungs. So we're just gonna keep
Yeah.
him in
So
prayer, well, and the entire situation, the entire family.
yeah, and just to let you know, or if you don't know, most people probably do that. Robert Long has been charged with 8 counts, and as well as another attempt of attempted murder, which might be counts of murder, depending on this gentleman in ICU. Yeah, so we're just going to keep him in prayers. Yeah,
Absolutely.
why don't
I
we?
want to. I want.
Yeah, well,
Go ahead.
no, go ahead. Go, no, no, I'm sorry. Sorry.
No, I was just gonna check in with Facebook right quick, but I don't. I didn't want to
Okay,
interrupt your story.
okay, go
Check
ahead.
in. Okay. Hey y'all, hey Facebook. Good morning, Kathleen Colan. We said good morning to Taru. We said good morning to our favorite Shirley Carter from Philadelphia. Kim Mayfield, good morning. She says, I hope all is well. Everyone have a great day. You do the same, Kim. Kimberly. Who else is on? Felicia Smith. Wade, Angela Hicks, Melissa Hardy Williams, Tammy McGee, Faye Fairchild. Good morning, y'all. Hey, G. Hey, girl. Hey, checking in from cold Colorado. It's still raining. No, it's still snowing there, girl. Oh, Lord. It's cold here too, but it was nice enough to walk yesterday. Carlos, that is just sick. Hey, Carlos. Good morning. Brent Reborn. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, Brent and D. Um, and JP Chapman, and I said Faye and Erica, 1 in a million. Hollis Hicks. Everybody, good morning, y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in. We appreciate y'all. Yeah. So is Terry Paint? Because it looks that way. While Terry is getting his situation together, let's go to the cover. So you guys know that every Thursday we drop new covers, and this Thursday, guess who is on the cover? We have the beautiful Cynthia Erivo. She of course, you guys know her from playing Harriet Tubman, but she's also playing Aretha in Genius Aretha, and this is the Aretha series that Aretha's family wants to boycott, but she's definitely on our cover this week. Thank you to Crystal Jordan who made that happen. I think she looks exotic in this picture. I love it, and she has a lot to say about stuff. So let me go to the cover conversation what they had so that we can talk about it and give us a little preview of what's on the cover, if y'all don't mind. Um, give me a second. I'm acting like King James. I just had it up. I don't know what I did with it. Here it is right here, guys. So she has a lot to say, starting with Aretha and changes and stereotypes, guys. So let's get right on into it. Like I said, Crystal Jordan did the cover, and I think they did a beautiful job with it. And but she goes on to say that she wants to change stereotypes. So, of course, you guys know that she's a British actress, and she's redefining the term multifaceted performer. So she is an exclusive member, you guys may already know, of the Emmy Club, the Grammy Club, the Tony Award winners, and she's also earned 2 Academy Award nominations. It's clear that she is the limitless anomaly, and critics gauge the possibility of her reaching EGOT status. So, of course, EGOT is Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, and Tony. So she's reaching for that. It's not a lot of Black women that hold that title, so we're rooting for her. Fingers crossed, rooting for her. But so she wants to add Oscar to her list of accomplishments, but she remains focused on the work dedicated to her craft. So, Crystal also got a chance to talk to some of the shows. I believe it was the showrunner and the director, and they had a discussion that is actually going live tonight at 8 p.m. Just in case you guys wanted to check that out. And the series starts next week. We did get a sneak peek at the first episode in the series. Actually, I think it might have been the first 2 episodes in the series. But when I say it's hard to kind of honor what the family wants, because you really just don't know what the background is, right? You don't know if whatever it is, like as a fan, we are clamoring to see stuff like this. So when the family steps in this conversation and they're like, boycott the film, we don't want y'all to watch it, we like, but why? It's out there. So it's airing. It starts next week. We got a sneak peek at it. It's brilliant. I did not see that they wanted to boycott until after I watched it. So now I'm kind of hooked. I'm like, y'all can't ask us to boycott it after we've seen it. But nonetheless, we do have someone coming on at 8:45 to talk to us about the estate of Aretha Franklin and what should have taken place before she passed away, and the importance of leaving a living will and testament and planning and all of this and all of that, so that situations like this won't occur where, I'm not going to say that it won't occur because it still may occur, but she still is going to talk to us about getting your affairs in order, and I can't wait to talk to her about that. I am going to watch the rest of the series because it's part of my duty as a as a journalist, so I have to. But it is a great series, so I can't encourage everyone to go out and boycott it. So it's on the cover. Y'all go take a look at it, and we will go from there. It's also still March, so it's also Sisters with Superpowers Month. Well, it's our Sisters with Superpowers Month, but it's Women's History Month, and we definitely have our Sisters with Superpower event coming up next week, at the end of next week. That will be Friday, March 26th, and Saturday, March 27th, and Sunday, March 28th for the Black Book Brunch. But if we can bring it up, I can let you guys know we're also talking about our Sisters with Superpower, Dazon Dixon Diallos. She received the Social Justice Award, I believe, out of Dallas. This was in 2019 when our Sisters with Superpowers event was in Dallas. Let me tell y'all about her for a second before I go back to our event, which again is Friday, Saturday, Sunday, next weekend. We are definitely looking forward to it. We got a whole bunch of stuff in store for y'all, so I can't wait for y'all to see it. I'm trying to get back to, look at that, y'all. Here it is right here. So let's talk about our sister with superpowers. She was honored in Dallas in 2019, and let me tell y'all about her superpower as soon as my computer acts right. But again, y'all, did y'all register for the Black book brunch with Bevy Smith. I'm going to tell you guys about that as soon as I finish telling you about Dazon Dixon Diallos. So she is a woman, a sister with superpower, and she combats health disparities and she promotes social justice. She's the founder and president of Sister Love, and she has fearlessly battled the disparities facing women affected by HIV. Her global mission spans from the United States to South Africa, which I aspire to travel to one day, and other nations because of her commitment to community-driven efforts to eradicate HIV. She was recently named co-chair of Act Now End AIDS. She says, as a sister with superpowers, her superpowers are vision, futurism, intuition. She's a truth finder, she's a transformer, and she also says that her last but certainly not least superpower is integrity. So she says that the skills and qualities that make her unique as an African American female leader is code switching. That's a positive. She said code switching, transparency, facilitation, and she leads with love. That is so very important that we get leaders who can empathize, lead with empathy, and also lead with love. She did say that an encouraging piece of advice that she would give to her younger self is, if you know your purpose, stay on your path to fulfill that purpose until the day you die. That is your gratitude for the life you have. Kudos to our sister with superpower for today, Dazon Dixon Diallo. Dazon Dixon Diallo. What are y'all's, so I'm just thinking about the encouraging piece of advice that she would give to her younger self. What would y'all tell y'all younger selves? I know exactly what I would tell my younger self. What would y'all tell y'all younger selves? I would tell I would tell my younger self, F that day job. I would definitely tell my younger self, F that day job, girl. And go bet on yourself earlier, a lot earlier than really kind of depending upon the corporate entity that you felt like you needed and you didn't. I would say F that day job long time ago. Even though you are a single mama with 2 kids and you in another state because your whole family is in California. I was in Michigan by myself, y'all. And I still would have said F that day job. Go for it. That's what I should have did. I'm just saying. Welcome back.
Yeah, what's happening?
What's happening? So anyway, we were talking about our sister with superpower. Before we get into that, I do want to cover our event producer, TJ. Let's talk about Sisters with Superpowers this next coming weekend. It is March 26th, March 27th. It's definitely in honor of Women's History Month. We're going to be celebrating powerful women in business, culture, and community. Register today at peaceandpurpose.co and hashtag SWS2021. Peace and Purpose is brought to you by Lowe's, Penguin Random House, and Seagram's. After the event on Friday and Saturday, we are also hosting Rolling Out Book Club presents our first annual, because I'm sure it's going to be annual, but our first annual Black Book Brunch is going to be hosted by our very own Esau Harris, pop culture critic, and we're going to be talking with Bevy Smith. So she's going to be talking about her debut memoir, Bevelations, and it's definitely going to be something that you guys don't want to miss. Sunday, March 28th, which happens to be my baby's birthday. I told y'all that at the top of the hour. 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern. You guys can RSVP at rollingout.com/books. rollingout.com/books. I am excited about the entire conference. I am in particular excited about this event. It's going to be hot. It's our first event of this kind that we've had all year. Well, in at least a year. So we're gonna be excited about that. King James, you going? Did you get the book yet? You read the book? You up on it?
Okay, how many questions was that?
5.
Okay, so yes, I'm going. So I answer it that way. Okay, yeah,
Okay.
I'm going. Are you going?
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's part
Okay.
of the conference. So absolutely, I'll be there. I got to do my baby's birthday stuff early though, but that's fine.
Oh, okay. Okay,
Hmm.
that's what's up. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah. So what else is going on in the world today? I know that Tiger
We
Woods went
are
home.
waiting.
Congratulations.
Oh, my bad. I wanted to go back and correct that. I'm just now checking the chat. But Dayson was from Atlanta. She wasn't from the Dallas Sisters with Superpowers. That was my bad, y'all. Ew.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and also the Aretha video. I should have been checking the chat. My bad, y'all. The Aretha video is on rollingout.com right now, but it will stream live tonight at 8 p.m. Um, on Rolling Out, Facebook, Twitter, as well as YouTube. Anyway,
That's what's up.
we waiting on our guests to come in at 8:45. But did you have another story, another report,
No,
Terry?
no, no.
Anything?
I was just bringing. No, that wasn't part of my report. But basically, I was going to talk about just some of the things that are going on around the country in terms of we know that Tiger Woods is home and resting. We know that Spike Lee has been you know anointed as the president of the Cannes Film Festival in the south of France, which is about time after all these years. And Mrs. Stacey Abrams is, on the fair count, put together a camp to basically um, vaccine next or raise in terms of vaccine distribution. So there's a lot going on in the world today. So I mentioned that before we went on to our guest.
What you just say? You know you was going in and out. What you say about Stacey Abrams? You said something about fair
Oh,
count.
no, I was just saying that. Well, I'll deal with that in my report. I'll talk about that in my report.
Okay, I'm going back
But
to
we can.
Facebook. D Shield said that she would tell her younger self, expect the unexpected. What would y'all tell y'all younger selves? What would y'all tell y'all younger selves? Terry, while you were gone, I said that I would tell my younger self to F that day job. EFF that day job. Um, awesome. Iris Baker said, good morning. Hey girl, hey, good morning. Femi Swint is on. Keep up the good work. Hey, Femi Swint. Carlos Scott says, Portia, check your text. Hold on, Carlos. You know I'm on live. Don't do that. Okay. We were looking forward to our guest coming on, but unfortunately, we just got the message that she needs to reschedule. So she
Oh,
deeply
okay.
apologizes for the inconvenience. She was looking forward to coming on the show this morning. We definitely understand things do happen, and we'll have her back. But because I'm anxious to learn about what we should be doing before we pass away, so that we just don't, pass off our issues to our loved ones, right? So we might not have kids, we might just be family. Like when you die, your bills and your affairs don't go away. Like they can't hold you accountable for them anymore, but they definitely will hold your family and others. So, and then did y'all see the Netflix film I Care a Lot? Oh my God. Okay. We can get into that a little bit later, but it's definitely about elder abuse, and taking advantage of elderly and getting, making it, they say it's all a scam in terms of making the elderly a part of the court system and having someone go in and appointed to their legal guardian, putting them in a home, and then they auction off all of their assets and all of their stuff. So that's another part of it too. I don't know. I would definitely want to ask her, how do you safeguard your loved ones against something like that, especially if you don't have your parents living in a home, and or if it's like an aunt or an uncle, or you know what I'm saying? Like, how do you make sure that you're safeguarding them against that? Because The courts can legally go in and say you're not safe to take care of yourself. We need to take you, put you in a home, and auction off all your stuff. What the hell? That's what I Care a Lot
Mm,
was about.
I see.
So we'll
Thank
reschedule
you.
her. She'll come back probably next week. We'll get her back next week and we'll talk to her about that. Maybe the Aretha story will have aired by the time she comes back and we might have different questions. So let's go, King James. Let's talk about your report.
Absolutely. Well, this is not report, but the producer shared with me a woman, a transgender and Asian woman,
What did
is
you start
one.
with? What did you lead with? You said it's not horrid. What did you say?
Oh no, it's not. No, I'm saying it's not my report.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
And so we have a history was made with Sports Illustrated. Black and Asian transgender woman was the first to be featured on Sports Illustrated. The person's name is her name is Lena Bloom, and
Mm, she's pretty.
yeah, yeah, she's stunning, and
She's pretty.
yeah, so she's the first one to be featured, and so this is causing a lot of waves in the sports world, and of course, social media. Uh, but had any thoughts about it? Like you said, she's quite stunning, and I mean, we're finally evolving in the times uh, instead of holding on to the old beliefs. So I don't know what do you think about this?
I want to see what they said about the story, but I definitely think it's um progressive because a lot of the time, I think she's the first, and it still amazes me that we're in 2021 and we're encountering a lot of firsts. But I definitely think it's a step forward.
Yeah, you got a lot of
Chair,
firsts
just
that I want
take
to.
the headset off. Take take the headset off. You keep going in and out, and I know you have a lot of stuff to say, and we be trying to hear you, but let's see if that works
Okay,
better. It's not the headset. Okay. It sounds like it to me.
can you hear me?
Yes. Yes, we
Okay.
can. Okay, so what was you saying now?
No, I was saying that I just wanted to see how this shows up on social media in terms of the first transgender and Asian woman to grace the cover of a nationally an iconic publication such as Sports Illustrated. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes.
Lena Bloom. I like her name. I'm sure her pronouns are her, she, and her. Um, yes, she's pretty. I mean, I don't see anything other than a woman. Lena Bloom is the first Black and Asian transgender woman to be featured in a swimsuit issue of Sports Illustrated, hitting the stands in July. So it's not out yet, but they gave us a sneak preview. It's going to hit the stands in July. The American model and actress initially made headlines as the first trans woman of color to star in a movie that premiered at Cannes Film Festival's 2019's Port Authority is the name of the film. In the statement to CNN Style, Sports Illustrated praised Lena Bloom's undeniable sense of self that shines through the minute she walks on set. Lena's story represents one grounded in resilience, and we couldn't be more thrilled to help her tell it. The statement continued, her presence as the first trans woman of color to be in our issue is the result of her lifetime dedication to forging her own path that has led to acceptance, love, and change. She represents every person's right to love themselves and be who they want to be. I don't see how anybody can say anything against that.
Well, they will.
Um, I don't see how. I don't see how anybody can say anything against loving yourself, forging a path to become who it is that you want to be, letting your light shine bright. I don't see anything wrong with it. I don't. And I said
Well, the
it.
entire history of this country has been an exemplification of that, of people,
Okay, well,
you know, be
go back 400 years and we was rich and free in Africa. So, and what? What you
yeah,
saying?
yeah, that's true. Nothing.
Um, so she's marked a number of firsts in recent history. In '97, Tyra Banks became the first Black woman to have a solo career featured on Sports Illustrated Swimsuit Edition. Ashley Graham became one of the title's first plus cover size models in 2016 and 2019. Banks returned and became the publication's. They had to do that. People be shady, y'all. They said, and in 2019, Banks returned and became the publication's oldest cover star. Y'all was wrong for that. That's wrong. Ageism is wrong. So Bloom, who is Black and Filipina, is only the second transgender woman to ever be featured in the Sports Illustrated swimsuit issue. So she's not the first, but maybe she's the first on the cover. Last year, Brazilian model Valentina Sampaio became the first, Bloom told CNN. And that was an incredible feeling and achievement, but added that there's still so much work to be done for more representation. Look at her. I love it. I love it. So in an interview with Good Morning America, she said she never imagined that she would be born in a time when something like this would happen to someone like her with her skin tone. To celebrate the mood, they posted an Instagram shoot on her Instagram with the caption, "This is what it looks like to be in full bloom." She thought about that name. She was like, let me tell y'all something, because that's how I feel. So Lena is probably her first name, and Bloom is probably how she feels. Listen, I'm not mad at it.
Okay.
It's Thoughtful Thursday. Go create your life. That's another thing I would have told my younger self. Like you don't have to subscribe to the norms. They don't apply to you. They don't, and they definitely don't have to. Just because you're a single mama with 2 kids and you feel as if you need to take care of this lifestyle that you created, because they afforded you the ability and the luxury to. I should have said to hell with all this SHI, sugar honey iced tea. I should have took my ass back to California and I should have built from the ground up. That's all I'm saying. I think I just spend too much time in corporate, and whereas I am grateful and humble for the ability to raise my family and not go homeless, not for real. That's another story for another day. But not be homeless, not be hungry, not be without. I was definitely grateful for that. But if I could go back and tell my younger self anything, it would definitely be don't subscribe to the norms. F that day job. Go out there and bet on you. Do you?
No, I mean,
Quick.
you're absolutely right. I mean, you're absolutely right. I mean, in terms of, you know, if I could go back and talk to my younger self, I would tell my younger self that, you know, the things that make you unique that people make fun of, they will one day admire. And so, and
What
they
you
will,
talking about specifically? Spill it. What?
no, I'm talking about in terms of, you know, I came from a very rigid, regimented military style where we would use slang. So I was forced to use proper. I was forced to enunciate words properly from the very beginning. And so you know, there were times, and you know, rest in peace. He served in Vietnam. He was a heavy-handed man, and he had a way of disciplining us if we used slang inside the house. So we became very. Our diction was good, and so that kind of conflicted with my middle school and high school, you know, ambiance or atmosphere, to where they was like, you know, you speak so proper, and you know what I'm saying. And some people thought that because I spoke proper, that they could go ahead and, you know, lay hands on me, and they found out, you know, later on that they had it twisted. You know what I'm saying? So you know, how the emergence of testosterone in adolescence and boys, challenging boys, and they thought that they could challenge me, so they had to find out the hard way. But anyway, later
You
on,
was putting hands
those
on people. Go ahead.
say
What
what?
are we talking about? I said you was putting hands on people, Terry. Damn. First kid
No, I was
game.
defending myself. I'm just giving you of when people try to ostracize you for something that makes you different, they're going to come back and say, "Dang, oh, okay." They're going to regret it, and I'm an example of that. That's all. Oh, what's wrong with your camera?
Okay. Let's talk about Terry Milton Jones. What Milton Jones do?
Okay, so now we're going into my report. So Milton Jones, Milton H. Jones Jr. He has been appointed. Now listen to this. You might want to sit down for this, ladies and gentlemen. Milton Jones has been anointed just yesterday as the ever Black chairman of the United Negro College Fund in its 77-year history.
What?
I paused. Mr. Milton H. Jones Jr. has just been anointed or appointed as the first Black chairman of the United Negro College Fund.
I'm not understanding.
77 years. The thing is, the treatment of the United Negro College Fund were white, and it's been white.
That's the part I don't understand.
I don't understand. It's taken a lot of people by surprise. I've seen a lot of reports this morning when I wrote it up, and a lot of people, a lot of publications, people were surprised, like, huh? Like, for real? Like, say what? Like, we've never had a black chairman of the United Negro College Fund. He's the first. The other chairman happened to be John D. Rockefeller, of course, who was the.
Y'all didn't notice? Let me ask y'all something. Y'all didn't notice beforehand, y'all giving all this money to the UNC of United Negro College Fund, and y'all didn't know that?
No, they didn't. Who? No, they didn't know that. No.
Wow.
You knew this? You knew this?
I'm inclusive.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Y'all. I'm inclusive in the y'all.
Okay, and so the previous, was a late philanthropist and formerly the world's richest man was John D. Rockefeller. After him was a guy named Michael H. Jordan. That's interesting, interesting name. He was the former chairman and chief executive officer at PepsiCo Worldwide Foods. And then Jack Stahl, who was Revlon's former and chief executive officer. So they made a big deal about announcing Mr. Milton H. Jones Jr. as the first ever in the 77-year history, the first Black chairman. So I just thought that was interesting. I mean, yes. Same here, TJ. Hell no, I can't believe that it took 77 years to hire quote unquote Negro to run the United Negro College Fund. That's like that's an oxymoron. That's a paradox.
So was it something that they just hid? Like, was the front-facing person always a Black person, and it was something that they just hid, or it was just something that we never thought to question?
We never thought to question because we thought that it was axiomatic that a Black person would head, or as it used to be called, Negro, would run the Negro College Fund. It just seems so. Yeah, it seems like an oxymoron to have a white person who's always been in control or the chairman of the board of the United Negro College Fund, and this guy is the first. Okay. So it's just, yeah, and so it is not something that they didn't try to hide it because we all assumed that they was running it, and of course you bring up a good point because the person who was the president has always been Black, so everybody assumed that he was that dude, that he ran it, that he had the final say. That was never the case. The chairman of the board has always been white until this week. Okay.
So nobody at the UNCF figured that they would leak that information. Y'all just wanted to keep a job. y'all didn't think that was important information. Okay.
I guess not. I guess not. Yeah, everybody is dumbfounded because it just seems so odd. Like it doesn't seem congruent with what we think about the Negro College Fund. Everything about it is black, and it services, of course, um, the historically black colleges and universities. But nobody ever stopped to think that that they used to have this telethon that ran every year. Everything about it is black, and that at the head, at the apex of the organization, man. So that just
That's
always been
so
a white man.
crazy. Right. So D
Yeah.
Shields is chimed in. She said, wow, so HBCU and United Negro College Funds were white all of this time. What was the plan all of these years? Was it segregation? Yeah, Brent, that is mind blowing. Brent said that's mind blowing. Um, it is.
And you know what? And so D Shields, welcome to the Rolling Out AM Wake Up Call. That brings up a good point because of the fact that the Rockefellers helped found, the part of the AUC Center, correct? The Rockefeller, or at least were big philanthropists in that. And so, what was the goal? Spelman. What was the goal of founding the university? Was it to keep us in a particular place? Was it to train us, not educate us, but to train us in order to, I don't know, take our particular place within the hierarchy or the echelon of America in order to further enrich the Caucasian aristocrats, the
I
you
don't
know the
know.
noble society, nobility. But what was the purpose of that? Yeah. So anyway, it just seems shocking. It seems, I don't know how to feel about it. I got a bad taste in my mouth about that. 77 years before, and it took all the way up to 2020 before a black man became the chairman of the board of the greatest single organization dedicated to raising funds for historically black colleges and universities. It's just mind blowing. So anyway, um, whew, but on to the next subject, and this one is just Vanessa Bryant has been snatching and dragging folks for the past, I don't know, for the past couple of weeks. She is. Oh, yeah. I'll go ahead and finish this report and with Vanessa Bryant. So Vanessa Bryant, who is of course the widow of the late legendary Kobe Bryant, she has now revealed the names of the unscrupulous police officers or sheriffs or deputies and firefighters who shared the pictures of the mangled wreckage and the bodies of her late husband, and her daughter, and shared it gleefully. Some of them were even flexing with it. Some of them were even trying to, clout chase. Some of them were even trying to pick up women in bars with these photos. That is just so evil that you. First of all, some of them were not even authorized to be at the crash site on January 26, 20 in Calabasas, California, at the crash. But you're seeing the burnt, mangled bodies, bloodied bodies of 9 people, including Kobe Bryant and his daughter. And you take pictures of that and you gleefully share it with your friends. You go to bars to try to pick up women with it, to flex, to stunt with it. Just, I don't know, that's reprobates. These are incorrigible reprobates. These are lowest of the low. These are rodents. And so she went ahead and exposed their names, and their names are, since they share the photos of Vanessa Bryant's dead loved ones, we might as well share the names of the people who did it. His name is, again, from the Los Angeles Sheriff's Department and Los Angeles firefighters. The names are Joey Cruz, Rafael Magia, Michael Russell, and Raul Versailles. So these are the 4 people that Vanessa Bryant has filed a lawsuit against. She has filed a lawsuit against the Los Angeles Sheriff's Department and the Los Angeles Fire Department because that is just, I don't know, that's reprehensible. It is, extremely objectionable to share photos of a crash site that include the mangled, wrecked bodies and of someone's loved one, and do it gleefully, like happily. So I don't know how you feel about it, Portia Monique. Sorry about that.
Get my name right. Um, it's sad. People do a lot of things for clout. They just, people always want to be the first to share some information. They always want to be relevant. Like, it's just like, what did you do it for? Was it money? Was it clout? Just sad. Anyway,
Or to
just
be the
wrong.
first one to say, "Wow, look at this! Look at the burnt bodies of
Right.
Kobe and
To be
Gianna Bryant." That's
exclusive.
just
Oh my gosh,
that's
I have
sick.
this terrible picture to show of Kobe Bryant and his daughter. That's
Yeah, and it
demented.
wasn't just yeah, it is demented. It's definitely demented. Yes. And the people who shared it wasn't just people. According to the reports, there were many people in both of those departments, the sheriff's department and the fire department in LA County, who I begged for it. So it wasn't just the people who shared it. It was also many people in the department who asked for it and received it, and then they shared it. But only 4 have been named. These are the original 4 people who took the pictures and stored them in their camera phones. So they weren't even, some of them weren't even supposed to be on the crash site. They just went there, took pictures, and left and showed it to people. And some people even try to pick up women and things. So hopefully justice will be meted out for them. But anyway, I'll finish the rest of my report later. We'll go ahead and move on to more and bigger and better things with our next guest. Portia, if you can go ahead and introduce them.
Don't tell me what to do.
No.
That's how I'm feeling this morning.
No, I was just suggesting. I was saying we can go ahead and do that later. Will you please?
Suggest, exactly. Good morning, y'all. We have a guest, a beautiful guest from Citizens Trust Bank. Good morning, lady. How are you doing today? Apologies for my coworker. Go ahead.
That is quite all right. I am well. Looks like you guys have some lively discussions.
So
let's start the day off right.
We want to talk about you, though. So you joined Citizens Trust Bank in 2017 as a vice president of the Alabama division of the commercial banking team. And you bring over 20 years, which is hard to believe because you look so young. But you bring over 20 years of experience. You bring 20 years worth of experience in managing sales, business development, retail banking, leadership, and commercial lending strategies. You were recently promoted. Congratulations. To first vice president, director of retail banking for Citizens Trust in February of this year. Why don't you tell us what that means for you and what you do in your current role day-to-day wise?
Wow. Welcome. Thank you. Thank you again. Mm-hmm. Thank you for having me. So it's extremely exciting to be in this new role for Citizens Trust, to be entrusted with a role that directly affects our client-facing teams, our retail financial centers. In the Atlanta market, we have 5 centers there, so I will be charged with managing that team of associates, hiring the right people, really going out, talking to clients, business owners, consumer clients, really trying to help grow the bank from the revenue standpoint and really the branding. Citizens Trust is a bank that's built on a rich history that we're all so very proud of. And so I'm excited to help lead that charge. We hit 100 years old this year. And so I am ready to go out there and let people know what we're all about. Let's not forget our history of why we're here. And let's look forward to the future on what we're here to do, which is help people make sound financial decisions.
Wow. That's awesome to hear. 100 years. And someone in the comments, Carlos, said you barely look 25. So I guess take that compliment.
Carlos.
Absolutely. So what are you responsible for day-to-day wise, operations wise? What does your day look like at Citizens as the director?
So right now, what my day looks like is really being that leader for our branch managers, for our center managers. We do have some openings right now, so we're looking to hire some new staff in place for all of our financial centers. But on a regular day, what that look like is the coaching part, the training part, coaching our teams on how to have the right conversation with our business owners and our consumers, dealing with issues that may arise. Sometimes people want to go above the person they see, and I'll be that person. So if an issue arises, trying to find that happy medium. The thing about banking is that it has to be mutually beneficial. It has to be beneficial to the client and to the bank. So let's figure out what we can do to make that happen for both sides of it.
Okay, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Now let's get into some of this community talk in terms of banking with the Black community. Let's talk about the importance of banking with Black-owned institutions like Citizens Trust Bank, and how do we go about developing a good relationship with our bank? So number one, tell us about banking Black, and then number two, how do we go about building a great foundational relationship with our institution?
Right. So banking Black, all know, a couple of years, we've seen a resurgence in things. Some, of course, not positive, and some definitely positive things came from it. We have to remember why Black banks were started. They were started out of necessity, right? We could not, as a people, always get the same, consideration as someone else may have. So when Citizens Trust was formed, it was formed by a group of 5 men who said, hey, we're businessmen, we have value, we have worth, but we can't get what we see other people getting. So let's take that impediment away for people who look like us and make sure that we have a solution for them when it comes to their finances, expand their businesses and everything else. That's still true today. Although we're 100 years old, unfortunately, we still know there's times where we can't get the same services that someone else may get from a business standpoint. So it's important to know that you have solutions there that can help you. Now, when it comes to banking with any bank, but especially with us, relationship is key. You asked what's important to remember. Really talking to your banker. What we believe in is a consultative sales approach. We want to know about you, know about your business, know about what your future plans are. It's okay to be transparent. It's needed to be transparent. It doesn't do any of us any good to have secrets, right? So sit down with us and share and let us know what your challenges are, what your dreams are, what hiccups you may have had in the past, on great end. And the more transparent you are on the front end with your banker, the more they can help you. Even if we can't do something you want to do right then in that moment, we can tell you this is how you get to those next steps. We give you those steps to go forward.
Okay, and so what is relationship banking? What does that mean, and how do we go about achieving it?
Yeah, it goes back to that conversation. Relationship banking is really knowing who your banker is, who's your commercial lender. We have a great team of commercial lenders at Citizens Trust that have years and years of experience. We have business development officers and, again, the branch centers. But who's your banker? Who's the person you call and talk to when you have an issue? That's relationship banking. And beyond that, who else in your center of your circle needs to meet that person? So say you're a business owner and you've been in business for 5-6 years and you're trying to get a loan to buy a building. Well, your banker needs to know your CPA. Your banker needs to know your attorney. All those people in synergy together make the whole experience better. It is a relationship. It's a relationship within the bank and outside the bank where the need is.
So why is that important though? Because say they don't know all of these people and they're meeting them the first time for the project. Why is relationship banking important to have these people know each other up front compared to the back end?
Point there, right? So as a banker, I have a certain vantage point when it comes to a commercial loan and what I'm looking at from the finances, but there may be a gap there that I can't see. But if I talk to that accountant can explain that gap. That accountant can explain why this is what it is. So the vantage point there. And then the attorney may be able to tell me, well, they had an issue before with a contract. Let me tell you why this contract should be worded a certain way to protect the owner. So there's different vantage points there that all together make it more synergy.
Okay. Well, I want to welcome back my co-host, the First King James. First King James, meet Marsha Womack. She is the Director of Retail Banking. She just got a promotion over at Citizens Trust Bank. Please meet our co-host, First King James.
Hello.
Hey, how you doing? What's going on?
I'm doing well.
Yeah, speaking of relationships, we seem to have a bipolar relationship. Black people do with Black-owned banks. How do we capitalize off of the momentum that was generated, due to certain circumstances in 2020 and before. We see it seemed to be a flashpoint. We seem to have a roller coaster, mentality towards it. Like when something bad happens to us, then we run to the black banks, but then the momentum is lost. How do you think that we can sustain that momentum and expand upon it moving forward from today? What are some of the things that you might think that we can do?
Yeah, that's a great point. And that, you described it as bipolar, and I definitely understand that. So how do we capitalize on it and make it not bipolar, make it where it's consistent? And I think it's twofold. I think as a bank, we have to do what we need to do to make sure we hold on to our client base, to make sure we're offering the same sales and services they would get at a different bank. Sometimes we may be, harder on one bank than another bank. So we got to make sure we can still be in that same playing field. But I think the part when the consumer standpoint is really the education piece of it all. Again, recognizing why Black banks had to be formed and why they're still so important. If anything we've learned over the last couple of years, history can repeat itself. And unfortunately, some history has repeated itself that we thought we probably were done with. So let's not allow a chance to happen again to where we can't be serviced somewhere else. Let's make sure we keep what we have in our communities, foster that and utilize that, and don't think that it's not needed anymore, because it definitely is.
Absolutely.
Now, we've also seen systemic racism rear its ugly head in numerous situations, numerous institutions, including banks, right? But what can the bank help lessen some of the wealth inequities that were put in place based on a number of situations, including systemic racism? So can the bank help lessen some of the wealth inequities in the marketplace?
Yeah, absolutely. So the bank is there to be that consultant to help with those wealth inequities that we have. Sometimes, again, if you don't have access to capital or access to credit knowledge or access to home buying knowledge, you don't know what you don't know, right? And so at Citizens Trust, we have people, professionals that are trained to teach people what they need to know. If you're not where you need to be credit-wise, we have a solution for you to help build your credit with a secured credit card. If you want to buy your first house and you're not sure if you can do it, don't tell yourself no. Don't say, I can't be a homeowner. Talk to a mortgage representative, and they will tell you this is what you need to do in order to get your credit where it needs to be and what dollar amount house you can afford. So we can definitely help with those wealth gaps, but it's all about having the opportunity to sit down conversation and the ability and willingness to be transparent, again, to talk about this is what I've gone through, this is what I've seen, this is what my family went through, how do I prevent that? And someone can sit with you and tell you how do you prevent those steps.
Mm-hmm. King James?
What I wanted to know, you were talking about, to elaborate on that last point that you were talking about in terms of secured credit cards and trying to establish or repair your credit, because I think that's one of the biggest impediments in terms of, preventing people from, I guess, getting a piece of what they call the American dream, a house, a luxury car, vacations and things of that nature. And now, you won't even get hired at some major corporations with bad credit. So let's talk about, let's further establish or elaborate upon that point about a secured credit card.
Right. So a secured credit card is where you have a certain amount of funds. Say, let's back up a little bit. A regular credit card is unsecured. It's not tied to any kind of collateral. A secured credit card is really designed for someone who may not be at the stage where they're able to get an unsecured credit card. So what you can do is put a certain amount of funds in a savings account, be it a regular savings account or a CD. Those funds are held on collateral at the bank for that credit card. So if you put $500 or $1,000 in a savings account, then your credit card limit will mirror that dollar amount in your savings account. You can use that card at any major retailer that you choose to use it at, and you'll make a monthly payment. But in the event you had an issue, the bank has that collateral in that savings account or that CD. We report to all major credit bureaus, so it will report just like a regular credit card would, and those consistent on-time payments will then help your credit score to where you can transition to that regular credit card in the future.
I see.
Facebook is checking in, and D Shields wants to know what are the military benefits protections for military families at Black-owned banks?
Well, there's a lot of military protections, especially when it comes to home buying. You know, if you're a veteran, you get special programs for home buying, different discounts, different down payment requirements. I'm not the expert in mortgages and things like that, but we do have protections on that side for our military personnel. We thank them for their service, and we definitely want to make sure we help them. So I just asked them to reach out to Citizens Trust. On our website, we have all of our contact info. A mortgage rep will call you back and tell you about all those benefits.
Now, we would be remiss if we didn't mention.
Well, I need to come holler at you.
Come do that. Definitely.
Okay.
Y'all had the same reaction. What? Okay.
No, we didn't. No, we didn't.
Marsha, okay.
No. It was my turn. It was my turn to ask a question, and what I was saying is that
I'm being assistant with superpower before we leave. So go ahead, hurry up.
Oh no. Go ahead. Go ahead and ask your question. I don't want to interrupt you. You know what I'm saying? You running this.
Marsha. Oh, okay. So we will be
bear with her, Marsha. Bear with her. She has some. We haven't trained her fully yet in how to comport herself on a live show. Go ahead, Portia.
So it's still Women's History Month. We are in the middle of March, and during March, Rolling Out honors sisters with superpowers. I want to ask you, what would you consider to be your superpower, and what has helped you to get to where you are, and what advice would you have for others? So superpower, what's helped you to get to where you are, and then advice for others.
Okay, my superpower is decisiveness. I believe in making a decision. Like the worst decisions in decision, make one, right? What helped me get to where I am is really having mentors that didn't look like me, just to be honest. You have your circle of people who kind of look like you. That's great. And I had those people as mentors too. But I went out to find mentors that didn't look like me. So I had people, males, white males, African-American males. I had, women who were different than me, and say, help me understand what you're doing. And I'm okay with that because I need all those experiences to make me great. So mentorship is important. I think that's I know it's been a vital part of my success in my career, and being able to lean in. You can't lean in until you have something to add. But when you have something to add, being okay with leaning in and not being shy about it. You have to be able to be confident and stand on what you know. Did I get everything, Portia? I'm not sure if I missed anything. Did I get everything?
Okay. Yep. Superpowers, decisiveness. What helped you to get to where you are? You went outside and found mentors that didn't necessarily look like you. And then what's the advice that you would have for others in terms of getting to where it is that they want to be in a similar direction?
Really, I got it. Yeah, seeing what you want and going after it. I remember when I first started banking, I started off on the platform side, and I saw people who were doing different roles, and I said, I want to be that person. So how do I get to that level? And I became friends with that person. So seeing what you want and going after it.
Love it. Okay. Apologies first, King James.
Oh no, that's fine.
Okay, anyway, Marsha, because I don't know what's going on with him over there. We're gonna close it out. Earlier in the broadcast, we were talking about being a Sisters with Superpower, and one of our previous Sisters with Superpowers that we honored in Atlanta, she said if she had the chance to tell her younger self something, she would tell her younger self, I forgot what it was, but I'm going to pose a question to you as well. If you had a chance to tell your younger self something, what would you have told your younger self?
Speak up. My younger self did not speak up. My younger self would not have been on this show with you guys today. My younger self was quiet, in the background, reserved. I didn't see the value I had in myself. And after I got to college and I started being around different people who had a voice, my voice started coming out too. But I wasted so many years. So I would tell Marsha, definitely speak up.
Well, I love Portia definitely doesn't have that problem.
No, she doesn't. It's good though.
But
no.
yeah,
No,
but
no, it is good. It would be better if it was accurate more often, but yeah, it's good that she speaks
whatever.
out. Yes.
Whatever. Anyway, Marsha, it's definitely been a pleasure. We will definitely have to have you back so that we can learn more about your bank, more about what it is that you guys are doing to help your customers make difference in their lives. I don't know if the Facebook is chiming in again. D Shield says something funny. But yeah, so we're definitely going to have you back. Thank you so much for taking the time to stop by the Rolling Out AM Wake Up Call
Yes,
to
thank
educate our
you.
community on banking
Thank you so
black. It
much.
is so important. Yes, absolutely. Please tell
Absolutely. Come
us
check
where
out
we
Citizens
can
Trust.
follow you, find you, your institution, Bank Black in Alabama with your bank. I don't know if we could do it online or whatnot. If we can do it, let us know.
I definitely will do that. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
And where can we find you? It's in Atlanta and Birmingham. Okay.
Yes, our headquarters in Atlanta, and we also have offices in Alabama as well. You can find anything about Citizens Trust on our website, ctbconnect.com. So yeah, I look forward to it. You guys have me back. I will love it.
Absolutely.
Thank you
so
so much for coming
Marsha.
through.
Thank you. Have a good morning. All right.
All
Bye-bye.
right, you too.
Bye.
Bye. You were doing so good for a while there. I mean, at first you were doing really, really well.
Hold on, D. D, you caught that too. I know you did because we both was like, "What?" And D was like, "D said you told Marsha that you wanted to holler at her for your veteran services." LOL. Anyway, moving on. What was we talking about?
Okay, see, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. See, that's what I'm talking about. I honestly wanted to check out what the services are, and you know, and I resent I resent the inference that it was for anything else.
You said it. It was the way that you said it. We was just like, me and Marsha both was like, what? Okay.
No. Marsha didn't flinch. That was just you. That was your interpretation.
Go back, run the tape. Run the tape. Run the tape. We both was kind of like, what? Okay. Go ahead. Anyway.
So I don't go back to my report. I do know that the word of the day is, and it's kind of appropriate, being that the UNCF had a white benefactor and philanthropist for the last 77 years, but the word of the day is obsequious. And so obsequious it means to be servile, sycophantic, just like a gopher, a do-boy, somebody who follows orders and is, basically just somebody who's subservient. So that's an appropriate word for today. That's something that President Biden used quite often after he took office and found so many people still genuflecting at the altar of Donald Trump and his supporters. He called them obsequious. So that's just another word for being sycophantic or servile or subservient. Just somebody who told what to do and they do it. They're obedient. Okay. That is the word of the day.
I think a lot of business institutions employ people that are that way, especially when it comes to insurance companies, those type of companies, when people just, sometimes insurance companies don't want to pay out because X, Y, and Z. And people just go about their orders and say, well, we can't do it because the policy states, or, et cetera, as opposed to putting people first and really looking at each individual situation on an individual basis. I think they just kind of blindly follow the process.
No, it's not people.
Go ahead.
No, it's not people who adhere to orders and mandates. It's someone who we would call a brown noser. Somebody, obsequious is somebody who's extremely servile. Like they are, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, extremely servile. Somebody who's just ridiculously, just blatantly kissing up to the boss. And whatever the boss may suggest, even if it's not right, even if it's immoral, even if it's just goes against the social norms or the corporate norms, that person will do it because he's trying to ingratiate himself with his superiors in order to get advancement. So that's what is meant by obsequious or being a sycophant. It's just Okay, yeah. Or
Yeah,
say,
no,
say
I
for
understand.
example,
It still sound like it's a lot of people that work at some of these corporations that are very obsequious. hmm It
yes,
applies.
just like the people who are, in the Senate and Congress, as I was saying before, who opposed, who basically kept up saying, promulgating the lies that the election was stolen, even though there was no evidence of it, even though there was overwhelming evidence to say that it was a legal election. These are the people who were being obsequious to Donald Trump, who kept trumpeting the theory or the lie that the election was stolen. And this is what led to the insurrection on January 6th, because you had throngs of sycophants
hmm
and people who were being obsequious to the theory that was being, perpetrated or promulgated by Donald Trump. So yeah, it's just it's not somebody who obeys rules and regulations. That's ordinary.
Well,
That's the
blindly,
norm.
I think without taking into
Yes, blindly.
consideration, yeah, without
Yeah,
taking into consideration.
doing things that are, yes, right, exactly. Somebody who's just who acts like a slave, who acts like, they're a servant. That is being obsequious. I like
It's
Lindsey
a lot of
Graham.
people
Yeah,
in
yeah, good
corporate.
one. Yeah, of course, of course. We all know people who were, as they say,
Y'all
brown
just not gonna
nosers, kiss your.
question. Yeah. hmm Yeah.
And in Congress, Lindsey Graham is definitely an example of somebody who's obsequious. The guy from and his name escapes me again, from Kentucky, the leader, or I should say, the minority leader of the Senate. He's also obsequious. So yeah, that's the
Cameron.
word of the day.
Oh no, not Cameron, but he is as well. Is it Ryan Cameron? What's
Right?
his
No,
name?
Ryan Cameron is a radio show host in Atlanta.
Not
So he's a
Ryan.
former radio.
No, the one in Louisville. What's his name?
Uh,
The black guy.
Daniel Cameron.
Daniel. That's what I'm talking about.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Thank God I'm here, because I'm always have to mop up after you. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you.
Oh, yeah, yeah. And so anyway, yeah, Mr. Sourpuss Face. Um,
Hello?
no. Lindsey, no. Lindsey Graham. Lindsey Graham is from South Carolina. I'm thinking about the dude from Kentucky. He's the leader of the Senate. He used to be the Senate Majority Leader. Now he's the Minority Leader.
Mitch
Since
McConnell.
Yeah, Mitch McConnell. Mitch McConnell. So yeah, that's the one. Those are the people. Those two are definitely the quintessential example of being obsequious. So the word of the day, obsequious, just overly kiss buttish. I was going to say something else, but you know what I mean. You're a brown noser. Okay, that's what obsequious is. Okay, now on to my next segment of my report. I only did 2 of them, so I know I have some more. TJ, if we're allowed to, do we have another guest that's about to come on?
No.
Okay.
The other one, we needed to reschedule her.
Okay. Oh, that's right. So if we can go to my next segment of my report, because Mr. Kanye West is not going out bad. He is actually well off. Did you see about this? This dude
6.6
is
billion. He changed his phone number
yes,
from Kim. Kim got to go through his security to talk to him.
yes, but he's worth $6 billion now, according to Bloomberg, which is a counterpart or a competitor to Forbes magazine. So Bloomberg is another financial service, or people who keep track of things that have to do with finances. So I wanted to put this up earlier, but TJ was hating on me. But I was going to say that Kanye does not have any reason to cry nowadays. He had a reason to cry last year when his dumbass was actually running for president, but he ain't got no reason to cry now, huh? So
I wouldn't call
or
Kanye dumb. I definitely wouldn't call him dumb. I would say that sometimes when he's off his meds, he can have what do they call them? I don't know, an outburst or a session. What do they call it?
no, he suffers from he suffers
Yeah,
from
an
bipolar disorder.
episode. Yeah. So I wouldn't call him dumb
Yeah.
though. You call him
No,
dumbass.
no. What I meant, Portia, I was actually being facetious. It was just colloquialism.
I
You know what I'm
know.
saying? Like,
He's still not dumb
okay, then why did you have to respond if you knew what I was talking about?
because he's not dumb. He might be off of his meds. He might be very
Okay,
narcissistic.
so
He might be arrogant. Sometimes he might be a malignant sociopath when he's off of his meds, but
No, he's not. No, no,
other
no, no.
times he
Malignant means something. No. He's not a sociopath. He's not malignant because malignant means that you are
I don't.
basically evil. Like you're evil. I've never
I
viewed
think when
Kanye
he's
West as
off of
evil.
his meds, he just has,
Malicious.
you
He's
know,
not. He's
episodes.
never been malicious. Yeah. Yeah. I got you. But anyway, I just thought it was impressive
No,
how
that's
he
correct.
acquired a $6 billion. Is $6 billion. Like I'm reading here, the 43-year-old's earnings come from a sneaker and apparel brand Yeezy. Last year, he was worth about $3 billion, so he doubled it. So Yeezy doubled it within 1 year. He also made some money off of his partnerships with Adidas and Gap Inc. So yeah, I mean, he's getting divorced, but he's not going to be bad off. You know how and Kim Kardashian is not going to be able to say, "Well, I need half," or "I need child support."
I don't
Well, he'll
think
get
she
shut.
wants
Well,
it.
maybe, huh?
I don't think she wants it. Why would she be asking? She got her own. I don't think she's ever asked for it before. And if memory serves me correctly, she's the one that kind of got him out of debt when he was going through his financial troubles before, right? So why would she want it? I don't think she wants it.
Okay. Well, I mean, I'm just, because before you advocated for the woman to taking all the man's money, like Dr. Dre's
You talk about
estranged wife.
Nicole. Yes, yes. Nicole needs all of the money. Give Nicole all of the
Why?
money. Okay?
Why? Justify it.
Because
How can
she
you justify
deserves
that?
it. She deserves it.
No,
First
no.
off, we know what type of background history Dr. Dre has, right? So we saw the Miss Chalet story. We've heard things. We know about the rapper that you was telling us about because I'm too young to know about that story that he went and beat up.
Okay,
Yeah.
you had to laugh at that one because we know damn well that you ain't too young to remember that. So stop it.
I
So
have
just stop. Just
no
stop.
recollection of that
Just
story.
stop.
The first time I heard that story is when you reported on it and you said he went and allegedly fought this reporter. What was her name?
No, he didn't fight her. He beat her down. She was a hip hop
Okay,
reporter and
so
she's no longer in the.
yeah, so we know what type of reputation he has. So if he's doing that type of thing and he's living with his wife for all of these years, I'm sure she had to endure some stuff. So in that situation, give her everything, everything.
Okay, so
Okay.
listen. Okay, so listen, Portia. If someone grabs me by the throat, lifts me off the ground, throws me up against the wall, knocks me unconscious before we get married, and you marry him anyway, then I'm not going to
We
say you
don't know
deserve
that
what you
that
get,
happened before,
but
Terry. We don't
no,
know
no,
that.
she said it. She said it. No, no, she said it in the court documents that these things happened to her before they got married. So somebody
Maybe he's
takes
pregnant.
me
Maybe
by
she
my
was afraid of her life. We don't know. We don't
okay.
know. D Shield said, going back to Kanye and Kim, was there a prenup? I think she is worth around 8 mil, right? Possibly more. She's not hurting for anything. Like, I don't even see her trying to be malicious and, say, I need my half, da da da. Like, Kanye is not, like you said, he's never been malicious. I don't think he's going to be the type of person that doesn't take care of his kids. He's definitely going to make sure that his kids are straight, especially if he's not the custodial parent. So I don't think that's an issue, prenup or not. I just don't think that Kim is going to ask for anything.
Right, right. I just think that
And I think that Kanye is going to be the type of person that just automatically gives no matter what.
yeah, and TJ said that the Kardashian witches will get that money. So I mean, they're going to get
Don't
their
be
money
trying
anyway.
to call TJ out. You know you wanted to say that. Don't do that.
No, no, it's on the screen. I mean, I just forgotten about that because a lot of people, and it was the women who said it. The women who said it on my Facebook page or on my Twitter page were calling those people witches. That those reprobates, witches. And so you know what I'm saying. And I believe that they cast a spell. It's like they cast a spell on everybody. Everybody who has ever gone through that family has ended up jacked up, just mutilated mentally. Lamar, Kanye. I mean, who survived? I mean, even Robert Kardashian, even Robert Kardashian Jr. can't stand to be around that family for too long. Them sisters are like another. They're like, you know what? You ever seen a movie called Twilight They're like that family out of the Twilight, like a bunch of vampires. That's a good movie, by the way. Twilight. Anyway.
What about Tristan? Tristan is still involved in the family. We haven't heard anything about Tristan.
Yeah, I know. We haven't heard it. We haven't heard anything about him career-wise. He's going down career-wise. I mean, it's just, it's just people just don't survive being within that family. And then when you think about how Kim Kardashian and Khloe were passed around the locker room like a blunt for so many years, so it's just, they're not at the.
You can't.
I'm not saying it about. I'm not saying. No, I'm not saying it about women. I'm saying it about the Kardashians. The Kardashians. The average woman don't do that, what they've done. I mean, they built a $100 million empire or $1 billion empire off of pornography. That's it. Not no.
I didn't know what it
was. Well, anyway, as she goes on mute.
I'm sorry.
Sorry. That was just that was bad, Portia. I mean, that's not a good look.
What?
Anyway,
what did I'm sorry, y'all. It was a disturbance. I thought someone fell, so it was sorry. I went into mama mode real quick.
Apologies. Oh, okay, yeah. Oh, okay, yeah. You say somebody fell. That's a good way to mop it up.
I did.
Anyway,
somebody fell. I didn't know what it was.
Okay.
I am talking to
the world.
Well,
and they still tell you. I mean,
they said sorry. We're all good over here. Sorry.
Okay. And so are we done with the Kardashians?
No. You forgot to mention Bruce Jenner is now a transgender woman, Caitlyn Jenner. Yes. That adds to it. But you were saying that they were passed around a locker room like a blunt, and I was just saying that was a little harsh.
No, I don't think that's harsh because that's how they made their money. And basically, they did a better job of it than Paris Hilton because Paris Hilton was their predecessor and their hero. And so Kim Kardashian actually used to be a flunky to Paris Hilton. She used to go everywhere trying to get famous. Nobody knew who Kim Kardashian was. And Paris Hilton was that woman. She was the woman. And then the porn tape, and then the whole paradigm shifted. And now it's been the Kardashians for the past 10 years. So, no, this is not customary of women. This is customary of that family. That's it. That family.
D Shield said that blunt comment was real cold. It's icy. I agree. But no. So could it just be a function of them knowing what they wanted and going after it until, not stopping until they got it in terms of the Kardashian women clan? Could it just be that? Using whatever they needed to use. Whether
using
it was
their bodies. Using their bodies?
Whether it was their brands, whether it was the TV platform that they were on, like whatever it was. Couldn't it just be a function of them going after
So they didn't have a brand. They didn't have a brand. They had a sex tape. I mean, what are you talking about? Are you endorsing this? Are you endorsing this lifestyle?
I'm asking, I'm being logical minded, right? So how do you build a brand? I don't care what they had to use. A sex tape, whatever. Sex sales.
Okay,
right? They're on top right now.
Yeah, but look what happened to Lawrence Fishburne's daughter. She tried to emulate that, and it just totally destroyed her.
It didn't work for her.
She didn't. Huh?
And maybe she stopped. Listen, I gotta find my interview that I did with Tyler Perry, and I asked him what would his advice be to people who kind of quit midway and give up, or are bummed out because they're not making as much progress as they need to. And point blank, his response was maybe they don't deserve it, because if they stop midway, if they get bummed out, it wasn't bummed out, but if they stop, if they don't keep going, if they let themselves quit on themselves, he said maybe at the end they don't deserve it. I'm gonna find it so that I can definitely quote him. But sometimes when you're going after stuff and you quit and you give up, maybe you don't deserve it if you give up. Like when you look at a Tyler situation, he lived in his car. Like he built his brand from the ground up by living in his car. He did it different than the Kardashians. Yes, he did. He didn't use sex.
Yeah, he didn't sell his body
to come up. He didn't sell his body to come up. He did it differently, but he definitely built his brand and he did it his way. He didn't give up. And look at him now, like 20 years, 30 years later, look at him now.
Yeah, but he's a person that deserves to be exalted. He's a person that we should hold up as an example, as as a paragon of how you conduct yourself and operate and become successful. I don't believe, and I don't hate on the Kardashians for what they did, but I don't think they should be held up as an example of how we want our young children to act.
Nobody said exalt. Nobody said exalt them. I'm saying they built a brand. Maybe they knew what they were going after, and they did not stop until they got it.
You were lightweight endorsing them.
I'm calling out facts. Like that's what they did. Yes, they may have used a sex tape to get on. They may have been flunkies to the Hiltons to get on. They may have sold their souls to TV for the last 10 years to get on. But going back to the conversation that we had on Monday, did the ends justify the means as long as it wasn't illegal, malicious, evil? Didn't kill nobody along the way, but did the ends justify the means? Are they where they wanted to be? Is this where they envisioned themselves to be? And did they give up on themselves? They kept going.
Yeah. And if they well, I'm saying it's not for me to judge. All I know is that there are better examples like Stacey Abrams, like Vice President, the Vice President of the United States. There are better examples of people who built their brands and accomplished success in a way that could be held up and shown as an example of how you conduct yourself and what path you should take. So, I'm just saying, I'm not hating on the Kardashians. I just don't think that they should be held up by you or anyone else.
I'm not exalted. Anyway. I'm just stating they went after what they wanted.
They get it together. Get it together. See, you can't even justify it. That's why you stuttering. Anyway, on to the next subject. I think I have one more in my queue in terms of
let's see if I can find that Tyler Perry, y'all.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I think I have one more, but I'm not exactly sure. I can't remember what it was that I had. Oh, yes. We already talked about this a little bit earlier. But in addition to this photo of Mr. Robert Long, the spa shooter, and everybody came up with an excuse or were saying that this gentleman had a sex addiction as well as a deep-seated mental health issue. But there's also a photo of him. I hope I gave it to TJ, where it shows that he posted some racist stuff online regarding Asian Americans. And basically, it was a T-shirt that's, here it is right there. COVID. I don't know if you can, there it is. Okay. So at the bottom where it says COVID-19, it says imported virus from China. So, and he said on his Facebook page, well, you're looking at it right now. Love my shirt. Get while it lasts. So this kind of goes up. The police department's hearing it. Agents to say he was a sex addict. That face on that period. They didn't harbor any racist Asians. Because what is this?
What is going on with your audio? What the heck? We didn't hear nothing you said. We didn't hear a thing. What was you saying?
Oh, can you hear me now?
Terry, we can hear you now. Yes.
Okay, I apologize. I get excited and then I start yanking out my cord out of my ear, and I was going to go yesterday to go get some a new mic, but I'll take care of that tomorrow on my day off. But what happened was, and please let me know earlier if I get cut off. But this blows up the theory that it blows up the theory that he may not have been a racist against Asians, and that he may not have acted out of his racist attitudes, Mr. Robert Long. So, we can't say for sure if he was acting out of rage towards Asians, but we can't rule it out now either. So the investigation is not over, and they're continuing to investigate the man who has now been charged with 8 murders and one count of attempted murder for shootings at 3 different massage parlors or spas in Metro Atlanta. And our blessings and our condolences and our prayers go out to the families right now, to the people who are suffering. So that is the end of my report for today. I apologize about the mic issue. I promise you I'm going to take care of that tomorrow. I don't apologize to Portia. I apologize to the fans who believe in me and who basically tune in just to see me. So anyway, that concludes my report for rolling out AM Wake Up. That concludes my rolling out. Okay, it wasn't that funny. It wasn't that funny. But anyway, yeah. So thank you for tuning in today. Portia, did you have a report? I know you have a report because I do. Every time I come on the show, I have a report. So I know you got a report.
Of course I have a report, but we don't have time for that right now. It's 9:47 on the road on AM Wake Up Call, so we got.
No, no, you ain't got no report. TJ, she ain't got her report.
Oh Lord, don't do that. I do. I always have a report, but we don't have a lot of time to even talk about. You know what I'm saying?
We got 8 minutes before we get to the positive thoughts. So we got plenty of time. 8 minutes is plenty of time to go through a couple of segments. So why don't you go ahead and scramble something together, make something up now, and act like you always had your report ready.
First off, don't tell me what to do. Second off, I always got my stuff ready. I did want to talk about Jamie Foxx, y'all, because he is continuing to make history as the first Black lead in a Pixar film, the first to win a Golden Globe, and now the first to be nominated for an Oscar as the animated lead of Joe and Soul. You guys know that I did a hilarious interview with Jamie Foxx on Soul. This is back in December. When the film actually came out, you can find that interview on the website. But he is continuing to make history, guys. So in addition to being on his way to EGOT status, because he got a Grammy, right? He got an Emmy, Grammy, Oscar. He got an Oscar for Ray, right? Is he EGOT status already? Oh, he doesn't have a Tony. Yeah. But yeah, so anyway, he's continuing to make history, y'all. He just launched a bourbon company. Did you guys know that? So Jamie Foxx is now the proud owner of his own bourbon brand. He's done it all from like we were just talking about, successful acting, successful music, landed them Grammy, Academy, Golden Globe, all of that. But he is now a brand owner for bourbons. From blaming it on the alcohol to now owning it. Yes, he's entered the whiskey business, and he is now the proud owner of what y'all think would be an appropriate name for his brand. What would y'all say? Don't worry about it, Terry, because I don't know what you over there doing. He named it Black Fox. That's a good one. But he named it Brown Sugar Bourbon. Yeah.
And when you talk, you don't need to do all this. You need to tell me, I'll forget about it. You need to calm all that down. Okay. Your histrionics are irritating to me. Okay. So you need.
Oh my God.
You need to calm your histrionics.
Okay.
And it is a word, by the way.
We know that. You told us about that before. Brown sugar.
No, you said it wasn't a word.
Okay. As the owner, he will spearhead the creative direction and lend his entrepreneurial spirit to help expand the brand. According to a news release, he has said, he's quoted as saying, "I've always lived by the rule that life is short, and you need to go out and do what you want to do. Owning a brand that brings sweet life to the party has always been a goal. And with BSB, I like that ring, BSB, we're making it happen. We're extremely fortunate that Jamie was introduced to the brand," said Sean Penn, CEO of BSB Spirits. "I have no doubt that Jamie will lead us to new heights. We can think of no better creative force than him, and we look forward to watching him introduce BSB to the world."
Sean Penn? You talking about Sean Penn,
I don't
Madonna's
think
Sean
it's the
Penn. That
same
you?
Sean Penn. It's Sean M. Penn. I don't think that's Madonna's
Okay.
ex.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Here's an interesting thing that just flashed across the screen because I've been getting these little flash notes. Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion have been brought up on FCC complaints. I don't know if you watched the Grammys like last Sunday, but they were rather risque with their performance of WAP, and
Okay.
they have been getting, huh? They have been getting wholesale denounced by the conservative sector of this country, and now they are subject of an complaint with the FCC. And the reason why this is important is because we remember what happened to Janet Jackson. She got basically it ended her career as we know it in 2004 when Justin Timberlake snatched off and exposed her nipple. So these things are real. These things have consequences. So there's something going on with the
What's the
FCC.
consequence? Like they can't make the public cancel them. Like I think I don't know. But what's the consequence? Is it a fine? Because I'm sure both of them can pay the fine.
Yeah,
Yes,
there is a
jail time, and that's something different. If it's a fine, go ahead and pay the fine and be done with it. But they can't make us cancel them. Like in 2004, social media was in its infancy stage, right? So it just so happened that Janet got the short end of the stick because the FCC kind of basically said that's it for you. But if social media wasn't around like it is around today, she wouldn't have been canceled to that extent.
I don't know.
So
It's just, well, you know what? I just don't know if we're in the same. You know what I'm saying? We're in different times, and we were in. It's a much different world than 2004. You're right. But they, if enough public, because enough conservative are so disgusting. You should have seen the because I watch Fox News as much as I can tolerate. No. It's not so what because it's the conservative
on TV.
Conservative America.
On TV. Like
No.
Why would you pick this particular performance to say, "Oh my God, it's too much"?
It was conservative America who maligned and vilified Janet Jackson and got her canceled temporarily, and they could do it again. I mean, they canceled Bill Cosby.
They can't cancel. I think their fan base is way too large and way too young to cancel a Cardi and a Megan. Like I just don't see it. I don't see it.
D Shields, what you think?
What?
You know
People
what I'm saying?
will talk about you. People will complain. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, give me my fine. I will pay it, and I'll continue to make music. Now, if they ban them from TV, okay, nobody's really watching regular TV anyway. That's about to be obsolete, extinct. Nobody cares. We're all paying for 50,000 different streaming services as
Right.
as it. Yeah. So what?
Yeah, and the Grammys suffered the lowest ratings in its history. Like it never had ratings as low as it did this past Sunday. And so I think that has to do with a lot of
Jesse Collins produced it, but so what? It was still a fantastic production.
No. It was well put together. I just think it had a lot to do with the boycotts. With how do you have the Weeknd made history as having the only single, I think it was called Blinding Lights, the only single in the history of American pop music that had a single in the top 10 for the entire year and didn't get any nominations. That's never happened before in the history of American music, where a song stayed in the top 10 for the entire calendar year, 53 weeks. So it was actually more than a year. It was a year and a week that it stayed in the top 10, and he couldn't get a nomination. And then other people boycotted.
Did he get his information in on time? Did he meet the criteria? Did he get his information?
Yes, he did. Yes.
All of his information correct.
I just said yes. I just said yes. I just said yes because he's been nominated and won in the past. So yes, he's already know how to follow.
It in on time. You know how sometimes people be like, okay, the
deadline
he did not.
Friday.
You get it in Thursday, 11:59, and that really kind of Friday. Like we don't know what the situation was.
No, his people said he got it in on time. He got it. He's done this before.
Hey,
so I don't know. I don't know why you keep going off on this when I just told
James, he got it on time. For him to have it on the charts for over a year, it was in on time. So which means is if it came out in 2019 for a full year, they still going to recognize it. So as Terry stated, that's on the Grammys. They didn't recognize him. He was there for 55 weeks.
Okay.
Yes, he
That's
had
never
it
had.
on time.
Yes, and so stop saying that. He had it in on time. He got
I
slighted.
said what I want to say. I said what I want to
Okay.
say.
We know you.
Okay. So no, we noticed that. But here, before we go into positive thoughts, here's what happened. I believe that a lot of people boycotted it because he wasn't the only one. 50 Cent boycotted it. Lil Wayne boycotted it. And I think a lot of other people and the supporters boycotted it. Like, I'm not going to watch the show because my favorite artist is not going to be on, or my favorite OG artist is not going to be on. You know, the video for Blinding Lights has 1.1 billion views on YouTube in just 1 year. 1.1 billion in just 1 year.
Wow.
So that means he had a lot of fans who didn't watch the show. And then the Grammys depend on international audiences as well. So I think there was a lot of factors playing into it. COVID, of course, no live audience, and the fact that your major artists who should have been nominated didn't get nominated or slighted. And this is also something that's repugnant about the Grammys. How, after 25 years in the business, does Nas finally win his first Grammy? That is atrocious. Nas, he just won his first Grammy in 2021 after breaking into the industry in the early 90s. Man, come on, man. But anyway, we got to get to our positive thoughts. Oh, Lettucey too. How does Lettucey? Man, you know what? Yeah. So, and the Grammy does not have very many. Just like with the Golden Globes and the Oscars, the Recording Academy, which runs the Grammys, does not have very many African American or minority voters. So a lot of people get overlooked. So anyway, that brings up our positive thought, and I would like for Portia Monique to start. Can you start with us, please? Thank you. You're so sweet.
I don't like you. I like you today. Y'all, positive thoughts of the day. So earlier I was telling you guys about me interviewing Tyler Perry and asking him about what advice he would give young artists who are on the verge of giving up. And his response was simple. He said, I would just tell them, you know, maybe they don't deserve it. If they feel like they have to give up, maybe they don't deserve it. So go after what it is that you want. Continue your mission, continue to march forward, and don't give up, because if you give up, maybe that's you telling yourself, I don't deserve it. Go after what you want. Do not give up. That's my positive thought of the day. Do what you want. Say what you like.
Okay,
do what you like.
Okay, can you pass the ball?
Don't give
Pass the ball? Okay, anyway. Yeah, okay, so my positive word of the day, my positive thought of the day is going to be my second word of the day, and it's called obstinate. Portia is maddeningly obstinate because despite us spewing the fact, despite us spewing facts, Portia kept asking that, did he turn it in on time? I mean, you know, a lot of times he forgot. Sometimes he did in the last minute. So it took the producer to bust in on the show to explain to her that it was in on time. So my positive thought of the day is, people, do not be obstinate. When you hear facts that contradict what you say, just say, oh, I'm wrong. I'm sorry. Don't be obstinate. Don't be overly stubborn when the facts that are presented to you show that you are wrong.
Look at that.
And then apologize. So Portia Monique, she's going to apologize to me after we go off air, because I'm not going to make her I'm not going to make her apologize on the air, because, you know what I'm saying, I'm not trying to crush her ego. She already has to bruise it down anyway. Bruise her ego down with ice. So anyway, thank you so much for tuning in today. We enjoyed y'all. D Shields, hey, you know what I'm saying, keep coming with the, you know, with the righteousness. And the rest of y'all, Iris, the rest of y'all, thank you for tuning in to the Rolling Out
She wrote every day, and you get her name wrong every day. What the hell? Don't be obstinate. I think you put it on purpose. Don't be obstinate. And you need pressure on what positive thoughts of the day are. They're supposed to be positive thoughts of
that
the
was
day.
That was positive.
That was not. It's a negative word.
No, obstinate. No. I'm talking about, you know, eschewing being obstinate. That when you are presented with some facts that contradict what you're saying.
Concept. We're talking about positivity. Anyway, y'all, thank y'all for tuning in. We appreciate y'all.
Yeah.
Terry, don't be obstinate. Her name is Iris.
Yeah, that's what I said, Iris.
You said ISIS, and I think you do it on purpose. Peace,
No,
y'all.
I don't do it. No, I don't do it on purpose. The name ISIS reminds me of somebody that I used to deal with back in the day, and so that's all. So I apologize, Iris.
Trying to shoot your shot at Iris?
No,
Iris Baker.
I said her name does. I said her name does. That's all. All right, y'all take care now.
Y'all tomorrow.
Okay.
Peace.